We're living in some strange times. We are living in some very strange times. Probably the strangest time in human history, right? We're living in a time where the internet has taken over. We're living in a time where people are no longer present in everyday reality. We're living in a time where the gender roles are reversed. Men are acting like women, women are acting like men. So that's strange. People aren't dating for some reason. People have chosen to socialize through a screen versus socialize with their fellow man or woman in person. We're living in a time where the media apparatus is more deceptive than ever. People don't know what's true. It's harder to tell what's real anymore. The things you see on social media aren't even real for the most part anymore. When you go on Instagram or you go on, X or whatever, it's like half of what you're seeing is AI generated bullshit. It's not even real people anymore. Some of it's real, but the other half is just AI generated crap from Sora or from ChatGPT or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? It's harder to tell what's real. We're living in a time as well where people aren't really questioning anything. You would think that in the time that we live, that more people would be curious or questioning things, right? And some people are, don't get me wrong. But the majority aren't. The majority of people like don't see a problem with what's going on. They don't think anything's weird. You know what I mean? They're just living and they're just kind of a part of the system and they just don't understand what's even happening. You know what I mean? They just think that this is all normal. None of this is normal. We are living in very, very strange times. If you're watching this video, odds are you probably feel a similar way to me. We're living in a time where the truth is being suppressed. It's harder to find answers to things. It's harder to be a truth seeker because there's so much information out there that's not able to be verified. There's a lot of people that are talking on screens claiming that they know things, claiming that they're a guru, claiming that they know how to fix your life, all of these different things. And I guess that's a little hypocritical because I'm a person talking on a screen right now, but I'm only human and I'm not claiming that I have all the answers by any means. I'm making this video largely to be relatable. I think a lot of people out there are in a state of confusion. I know a lot of Gen Z people are in a state of confusion, a lot of millennials. Gen Alpha is probably the most confused generation in history. I think Generation Alpha is completely fucked. I mean, they're being spawn camped. These kids are being born into a world where it's like they only want to live through a screen, or they only can live through a screen. They've opted out of reality. You know what I mean? They haven't even had a chance yet. They haven't even had a chance, and they've already been spawn camped. So people's minds are being controlled by social media algorithms. People's minds are being fried by short form content. So many people are constantly seeking attention and validation on social media, and that in and of itself will ruin you. That it right there will ruin your self-esteem. Being reliant on likes, comments, and interactions with your social media posts, if you're reliant on that for like dopamine, that's going to fry your dopamine system, and it's doing it. And that's not even to mention AI. We're living in the artificial intelligence revolution right now. AI is a completely new thing that, the future of it is very uncertain. We don't know what's going to come of this AI stuff. Robots are being manufactured now with AI systems inside them. What the hell is that going to do in the future? You know what I mean? People are losing jobs because of this stuff. And I think it's going to get worse in the future. We're living in uncertain times. Things are very uncertain. And things have sort of always been uncertain, but not as much as today. Today it's like We have no idea what the future holds. We have no idea what the future holds. The AI thing is kind of scary because it's so knowledgeable. It's even more knowledgeable than we are, obviously, but it's even more knowledgeable than like Google or any search engine or any kind of established internet search engine or anything like that. Things like this. I mean, this is this is an unprecedented time in history. Pornography, if I can even say that on YouTube. Corn, you have to say corn, is completely destroying the lives of young men. Lust is destroying the lives of young men and even young women, I would say, even men and women. Pornography is at an all time high. Pornography has never been more accessible. It's never been just thrown in our faces like this. You know what I mean? There are people today who are getting exposed to this kind of thing when they're like 9, 10, 11 years old. This is crazy. This is not good. You know what I mean? It's destroying the lives of young men. And like I said, even young women. Even young women are prey to this kind of thing. So we're living in some strange times. There's a lot of different struggles that people are dealing with. There's a lot of different hurdles that we have to kind of overcome. You have to develop skills within yourself. You have to develop social skills within yourself. You have to work on yourself, guys. We're living in a time where politics has never been more heated, both on the left and on the right. And I'm not going to get political on this channel, but I'm going to use that as a talking point anyway. Politics has never been more intense in this country, in the world in general, if you're a non-American person watching this. We're living in a time where financially people are struggling more than ever. It's harder to find a job, even if you have the qualifications to get one. A lot of job postings out there aren't even real. It's like fake shit. It's fake postings. You're very lucky if you even get a call back from a job to get a job. And if you have a job, you're pretty lucky to have one. Gen Z is probably never going to be able to buy a home in this current financial state of affairs that we're in right now, this current economy. We're also living in a time where people are angrier, more irritable, and more on edge than ever before. I mean, just go outside your house, guys. Just go outside your house. People are this close to going off on you for anything, for the smallest shit. People are emotionally unregulated to where they're just ready to crash out at any moment. And I think a lot of people are kind of waking up and are having this sense of things feel off. Something feels weird in our reality. Something they can't quite put their finger on it, and I can't quite put my finger on it either, but it just feels like something feels off with everyday reality. And I think people are waking up to it. We're living in, I guess, just kind of a big transitional time in history. This is a very big, like, evolutionary period in history, especially when it comes to technology. I mean, technology is evolving faster and faster, and it's exponentially faster. You know what I mean? The faster that it evolves, the faster it evolves, if that makes sense. I think technology is evolving so much faster than our human, our human animal, our human brain can keep up with. It's faster than we can comprehend, and it's overstimulating our brains to the point where it's just frying us out. I mean, our brains are being fried the fuck out. And this is even happening to older people. This isn't just young people. This is happening to older people too. Older people's minds are getting addicted to this technology, this smartphones shit, this social media stuff. It's happening to all of us. And it's creating a world where something just feels strange. Humanity has never had to deal with this level of overstimulation. The modern man is in a unique position because there's so many unique challenges living in the modern world that men and women in the past in history didn't have to deal with. Now, the men and women in history had different problems than we have in the modern world, but I don't think that they were ever in a place where they were as lost as we are. I think the modern human being is in a world now where we're mostly just lost. Most people are lost, me included. I'm just as lost as anyone else. I know some things and I've got some wisdom, but I'm just as lost as anyone else. I don't have all the answers. With all this said, a lot of these external factors are things that we obviously can't control. We can't control everything in life. Control is an illusion anyway. But with that said, I still think that we have to overcome things as individuals. We have to look out there into the world and be like, okay, these are the problems that we're facing, and what can I do about these things? What are potential things that I can do to build confidence within myself, to overcome certain challenges? Because at the end of the day, while we may be facing a lot of the same challenges, we as individuals have to take it upon ourselves to take accountability and say, okay, despite these challenges, I'm going to do everything that I can do in my power, in my control, to overcome these things. There's a lot of folks today who they're just sort of in this mindset where everything sucks, you know what I mean? Doom and gloom. And I get it. I get it. Things do suck, but you can't just let life screw you like that. You can't just give up. You know what I mean? You can't just say life sucks, so therefore I'm not going to do anything about it. Therefore I'm just going to sit back and just let my life pass me by and never do the things I want to do, or this kind of stuff. You have to be a person who overcomes these challenges. You have to be a person who can take initiative of your life. Grab life by the balls and say, "Fuck this. I'm gonna fight for the life that I want." So, yeah, that's kind of the video, guys. If you can relate, drop a comment, drop a like. My name's John, and if you're new, welcome to the channel. This is kind of a new channel I started about a month and a half ago or so, where I kind of talk about modern issues. I give my opinion on the modern world, social dynamics, things like this. And obviously, these are just my opinions. So, by no means do I claim to be the arbiter of truth or the arbiter of knowledge or anything like this. So, I'm sure a lot of you are going to disagree with a lot of the opinions I have, and some of you may agree. Either way, no one's forcing you to watch the content. Nobody's forcing you to stay here. So, if you hate what I'm saying, if you hate me, that's fine. But you feel free to click off. Nobody's forcing you to stay. So, anyways, guys, that's the video. We're living in some strange times, and I'm John, and I'm out.